Hey guys, welcome back to Top Gun Outdoors. Today we're going to do a quick vlog with a couple different key points that we're going to talk about. First of all, we don't want to make you guys wait much longer. You might have seen pictures of it already, you might have seen posts about it, so we're just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. We're going to talk about Tanner's huge buck that he got out of the farm. So Tanner, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so it's really had a farm since, I want to say, 2012, and there were some decent deer when we got there, but it wasn't like, it was a place we only had to grow. And in about 2016, my dad finally killed one of the, he wasn't all that great, he's like 120 inches. That's the biggest deer's ever been killed off there. And then ever since then, it's getting bigger and bigger. In 2017, it was another down year, but also again my dad killed another old mature deer, and then we fast forward to 2018. We get this picture of this buck. I mean, his G2s are tall, but everything else isn't very tall, and nothing was killed that year off the farm because we started getting a little picky, and I was only a kid and I hadn't killed that many deer, but I wouldn't say we trophy hunt, but I'm not going to kill a deer that's real young with a little rack. It's either an old mature buck or a nice buck, because if you can let them grow, let them grow. And so we go in 2019 deer season, and this buck has blew up. And I nicknamed him Statue because of a picture I got. And he says, it looked like just God placed him there. I mean, it looks like he wasn't even real. And got another picture of him later on in the year, but that was it. It was almost like he was there during the rut, which I wish I would have known that now. And not another picture of him. And so we go into 2020. As you guys know, I've been chasing the big 8-pointer that I nicknamed Boomer because we got a picture of him last year when he was just 6-point. He was nothing special, but his G2s were identical to his G2s this year, so pretty sure that's the same buck. And that's I had one encounter with him. It was late September. I didn't got any trail pictures of him yet. Didn't even know that was the buck that I was going to be after. And that's only, he was about 150 yards away walking through the woods. And that's the first and last time I've seen that buck. And we fast forward into the weeks coming on, seeing a lot of deer movement, little bucks. Actually, the Thursday before rifle season, I don't even think I told Tristin this, I missed the buck with my bow. Shot right over him. And it's, ironically, the buck I missed with my bow is the buck my dad shot this year with a rifle. So yeah, so this is the buck my dad shot this year. Old, mature deer. I mean he broke all the high heaven right here. He's real tall right here on his G2, and so actually killed him in the same stand I missed him out of. So it's kind of hard. And so we get the first day of rifle season. It's rainy, disgusting, but we're going to sit all day. That's what we came there to do. Been waiting on all year. So that morning, I'm up in a stand that I hung with my dad in September. We call it the big stand. It's a big game deer stand. It's a person and a half. That's what they call it. A real comfy deer stand. And I'm sitting there. I think I've seen a button buck. Pretty sure it's a deer Tristin shot. I don't know. Well, that was funny. And a couple does. And it's about 10 o'clock. We're about to get down to go eat lunch and get right back in our stands. And I look out of the corner of my eye, and there's another buck that I haven't seen before. He's a big 10-pointer, and he walks 35 yards, and I can't get on him. And he smells me, he turns around, starts running the other way, so I just shoot out of anticipation, completely shot over him. Probably never should have shot. And sick to my stomach, wouldn't look for blood, there was nothing. Where he walked in, I ended up putting a trail camera there to see if he'd ever come back out. And a couple weeks later on that trail camera, Boomer showed up on it, so he's still alive. But that's not what we're talking about. Anyway, I meet with my uncle and my dad at the truck, and my uncle is hunting a stand that we call a well stand that me and my dad legit put up the evening before rifle season. Like, I had just bought it that day and we went and put it up.
And you actually have kind of a funny story about that one. Why is it called the well stand?
So me and Dad were putting it up. Me and Dad have walked through there hundreds of times turkey hunting. And he says, Tanner, he said, come here. And there's a tree. That's the reason we've never seen it. There's a tree over about a 12-foot well that goes straight down. It's the craziest thing that I don't know how cows haven't accidentally fallen in it. I mean, it's right there. It is insane. So they named it the well stand. We actually put a bunch more trees over it, and my dad's gonna see if we can get that filled in or something, because that's very dangerous if you don't know where you're at. And that's something I want to key on if you're deer hunting. Even if you're going to your safest spot, even if you're hunting a blind, make sure somebody knows at least that you're hunting, because if you don't come home, somebody needs to know where you're at, or they can come look for you, because that's something that we religiously do. And
that's something that they'll teach you in hunter safety course too, is make sure people know where you're at, you know. In the hunter safety course I went to, the guy broke down his system. When what he does, he has a piece of paper on the fridge that he just writes where he's going, when he expects to be back, and then his wife and his kids know where he's at. I don't think we do anything that far. We don't write it down, but we do make sure people know. You know, we'll give them a call, give them a text, whatever. Our parents both sets obviously know that we're going out.
And most of the time, usually when I'm hunting, my dad's out there too. But not every time. I've hunted a lot this year without him being out there, or somebody that we hunt with being out there. And it's just something I think you have to do it, because if something happens to you and nobody knows where you're at, you could be on the ground with an arrow through your leg for God. I don't mean, you know, especially if you're going to public land. Please let somebody know that you're going there.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the story. So my uncle's talking about how he's seen a bunch of deer chasing, and I made a mistake last year. My dad told me to go on his stand, and I didn't. I wanted to go back to mine. That's where I put it. And my dad ended up killing a good buck last year. So my Uncle Devin said, you should go over there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I said, I'm going to that stand. He said, okay. I'm walking down there, and something that I've learned from the hunting public, actually, I got their hoodie on, hunting public, you want to try to make little sound as possible walking into the stand. And so as I was walking in there, I had a turkey call in, and I was just yelping. And just to act like, just cover my tracks just a little bit, because there's nothing wrong with hitting the little yelps or acting like a hen walking through an old cow pasture. And so I walk in, so it's like there's a little path, and there's a fence, cow pasture, woods, stands on the other side of the fence. Excuse me. And so on by the cow pasture, there's a draw. It makes like a big U, and my uncle said that's where a bunch of bucks would run in and come out. So that would usually mean there's a big buck in there. So I get set down. Now 5 minutes, a bunch of bucks, like 2 or 3 of them. One is the one Dad shot, another was a little buck, another one was like a 2-point spike. They come bolting out of there. So I mean, I had just sat down. Like I didn't even blow the gun yet. And so I finally get the gun loaded, and funny thing is, I got to pee really bad. And so I sling the gun around my shoulder, and as I'm getting ready to pee, a doe, like Hawk's Fist, didn't even see her. She's 20 yards, boom, right there. I'm like, oh crap. And so I'm like getting the gun off my shoulder, getting it ready, and then she walks right 15 yards, perfect bow range, boom. And I look over and I hear, and I'm like, and I look over, and what I saw coming out of the woods is something that I'll never see. I mean, you talk about a moment where my mouth's on the ground, and I mean, he's got his head in the ground, he's chasing her, he hops the fence, 20 yards, boom, missed, boom, nailed him right through the back of the shoulder, took out everything. I mean, he's bleeding both sides, and I'd be danged if he just laid down. And then he stands back up, I shoot again, I blew his right shoulder off, and he lays back down again, he's still alive. And at this point, I'm just shaking, I can't even hold the gun still. And I'm about to puke, because here it is, the biggest deer I've ever seen, nailed him, hit him in the shoulder, and I can't walk on one side. I'm sick to my stomach that I couldn't get a good ethical shot, even though he was right there. And I did get an ethical shot, which was the crazy part. I mean, he shouldn't have went 20 yards with this gun. I mean, it was crazy. And so I get down, I get up to him again, And this time, I shoot him again. I hit his other shoulder. So now he can't walk. But I got so much adrenaline running through me. I don't know that I shot his other shoulder off. And then he's just laying there, and I realized that I left the rest of my shells in the stand in the backpack. And he's from me to basically the camera. I mean, I could have got him. Yeah, I mean, he's right there. I mean, he had no idea where he's at. He's gonna die, but I'm about to puke because he's suffering, and I can tell by the way he's just got his neck over like this and looking at me, like, what's in this? And I got no more shells. And so I call my dad. He's not 200 yards from me in his stand. He gets down. He comes all the way around, makes it about another 400-yard walk. Finally gets to me, hands me his gun, and parks through. And then that's where the celebration started. And I tell you what, I don't think anybody in their right mind will pass on this sucker. I mean, he scored 176 and 1/8 inches. Boone and Crockett. Once in a lifetime deer. And I was talking about those trail cam pictures of that deer, and this is him. He showed up during the rut.
Yeah.
That just shows you that he wasn't living on us at all. He just came down there to the rut. That's where he knew that's where the hot does were at, and that's what we were trying to. I mean, a lot of people like to shoot all their does, and they're nuisance, but we don't. We shoot does, but we don't hammer down on shooting does because I know during the rut it's gonna work, and so. Yeah, I'm also speechless today. I don't even know what to say. It's just once in a lifetime, never happened again.
Huge deer.
Yeah, I mean he's
got the growth off the G2 on this side.
Yep, world class deer. Which all you guys know that this hurts the score, but I really don't care because I won't get another opportunity like this again.
Not for a while, at least.
Yeah, and this is, and I've only killed 2 other bucks besides him, and they were little basket rack deer. And a lot of people have asked me, so is that the biggest, like, you gonna shoot any more deer that small? And I said, yeah, I hunt mature whitetail deer, and he was a mature whitetail buck. So anything that's mature, old, that's what we like to shoot, and get them out of the herd for the herd can keep surviving, because you keep them old deer there, there's a possibility they keep running out your younger deer. And so about a week later after I shot him,
pass it back to you.
I get a DM on Instagram from the guy asking me where I shot my deer, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I tell him, and he hunts 2 miles north, sends me about 10 pictures of him.
Wow.
Cannot believe it. Shocked. And then I get the trail cameras. I judge him from 2 years ago, last year. I mean, it's the same deer. So after hunting him all year last year, which I nicknamed him Statue, gave up on him, thought he was dead, and seen him 1 time this time I shot him.
No. And what were you using on the day? This gun?
Yeah, this is a Remington 7mm mag. It's my dad's gun, my dad's gun. And then she didn't quite get the job done, but ended up harvesting the deer with my dad's 7mm Browning, which I mean, none. So I mean, this puppy, the deer would have died, but I'm looking into getting a new gun for next year. My own gun. I'm gonna purchase my own. It's probably gonna be a Browning. I used to hunt with 30-30 and a 243, and I've hunted with a 223, and yeah. So that's the story on Statue.
Yeah.
And one of my best hunting moment I've ever had. And to finish the deer off with my dad next to me, I mean, that was icing on the cake, because I've done a lot of things that I've seen the joy in my dad, but that's a moment that I'll cherish forever. Having that hug with my dad.
Yeah. But from there, that's the story of his awesome. It was a 14 point this year, right?
Yeah, he's a mainframe 12 with 2 kickers. So he's got, I mean, and he's symmetric on every, I mean, he's the same. He just has these 2 kickers. But besides that, he's perfect. Just about perfect.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
But yeah, so with that out of the way and taken care of, we are kind of bummed we couldn't get down on video, but that was because it was a solo hunt for Tanner. You know, he was out there with 2 other guys. They were all in different stands. We didn't have any way to
follow up on that. I did film when I shot the buck in the morning, and that's why I didn't film in the evening, because that's why I didn't get a good shot on him. I was trying to get footage.
Yeah.
And we may show a little bit of that footage. It's just I wasn't gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
And so
especially with a nicer buck.
And if I had a really good camera that had a big frame, it'd been a lot easier. But all I have is my old iPhone, and that's something that we're gonna talk about in this video.
Yeah.
That's gonna be happening. So sorry to interrupt. I thought I was good.
No, you're totally fine. But yeah, so on to business, I guess. Top One Outdoors has had one member decide to leave. Shane Rhodes isn't going to be filming with us anymore as a member. He might pop in for like a special guest type thing, stuff every so often maybe. But he's not going to be one of the main guys anymore. But on that note, we have added 2 new ones. So now the group is myself, Tanner here, Matt Andrews, and Hunter Trippinsey. And we will be getting a video out with them shortly. Actually, Hunter is the resident butcher in the group, and he'll be out of my house later today to help me finish harvesting the buck I killed yesterday. So I might be able to get a few words on with him, maybe throw that in this video. Probably won't. We'll probably save that for a full-scale video with all 4 of us. But to that end, we've been in contact with them. We've been kind of trying to toss ideas around. You know, we started this channel with the intentions of it being an outdoor channel, so not just hunting. You know, we would do camping, we would do truck stuff, you know, just basically anything you do outside, we wanted to be able to post.
And something I want to add is we're not making this to make any money or anything. Like a lot of people that, so, I mean, yes, all we've posted is hunting videos, but, you know, we're at a time of our life where we're either at school or we're at home. And I've filmed a lot this year.
Yeah.
A lot. I got a lot of footage. And I know just people aren't interested in watching deer walk around. People are interested in shooting or harvesting a deer, or so that's why we're opening up our surroundings and other things. I mean, it's an outdoor channel. I mean, I play golf. I go out and film golf vlogs if I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's something very close to my heart is golfing.
That's what he's going to school for. He got a nice scholarship to go to school in golf.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's an outdoors channel. I mean, I would expect, all 4 of us may go on a camping trip sometime in the spring or something.
Do a vlog on that. And we'll go down to Venice Springs, fish during the day, take it home, cook it. That'd be a cool video.
I've opened up the idea of maybe during turkey season we get a weekend, 2 or 3, maybe 4 days, and go to a different state, get some tags, and hunt some public land and
see what we can make happen.
Do something like that.
Kansas or wherever we go. Yeah. And so it's like stuff like that. We're trying to kind of broaden our horizons a little bit. And whenever we do that video with the other 2 guys, we'll kind of get into that a little bit more because they've got some ideas that they want to work on. So I just think it'll be a good step forward, you know, bringing more guys in that have more experience in some areas and will allow us to do more things. So
I would expect more videos like this. Like you can see, I have my bag here. I just set it here. I mean, we'll go through what we take to the stand or what we do with other things. I'm sure Hunter I'm sure he could do a couple videos on how he prepares meat or something, or how he does that. I'm sure that'd be interesting. Matt, I don't know what Matt will do. He's our wild card.
He's more into archery.
Yeah.
He actually is a big time archer and 3D shoots.
Yeah.
So here pretty soon, pretty soon 3D shoots in Missouri are going to start opening up again.
Yeah.
And
one of us will go with him and we'll film and do it.
And he's planning on hitting a lot of those. So, and I went with one. I went with him on one last year, and that was awesome. If you guys are into archery and you don't like killing things as much, or if you just can't find land or anything like that, but you still want to have competition involved in it, look up 3D shoots in your area. They're more realistic. You know, you're not just going to stand in a shop like this and then shoot it at a bag target. You're going to be shooting at 3D targets that are usually pretty lifelike. Sometimes they'll have dinosaurs or poison dart frogs that are like this big. So not always realistic, but sometimes most of them are. You know, you'll have like a bobcat, fox, deer, elk, just stuff like that. So I guess with all that out of the way, that's pretty much all I had to say. Tanner, is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
I don't really have anything. It's just video about the deer I shot and a catch-up vlog, and we're gonna start posting more. I mean, we said that every year, but this time it's actually gonna happen.
Yeah. What happened last year is that we were hitting it pretty well, but then I went off to school during the summer, and I was there for 4.5 months. I am back now. I graduated from the Missouri Welding Institute, and so now I'm back, and Tanner's still going to school, but he decided to go local, so he's in the area still. And then the other two guys are actually already done with their schooling. One of them is at a full-time job. The other one just started one a while back, so we're all staying pretty local for what seems like going to be a little while.
Probably a while.
So it should be a much easier time with the video output. And you did mention the camera situation earlier.
Oh yeah. So
with Hunter coming in, he has done videography and stuff like that before, so he has a nice camera that we'll use for some videos, and then we are still looking for one ourselves.
We're gonna get a camera, and my uncle is gonna give me his GoPros. That's gonna help.
Oh, and the trail cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's giving me, I'm gonna get about 12 new trail cameras because he's going all cell cam, which is that's good for him. I'm not gonna spend that much money on that.
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now, at least. So I mean, I would expect. I mean, we could start making videos of us checking trail cameras, and we can like play it on the screen
once a week.
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be pretty easy with that many cameras.
I'm gonna take them all down here in about a couple weeks, and they'll be down for the rest of the season. And then about end of February, I'll put them back up so I can see the turkey movement. And I'd expect a lot more videos from me between all of March and tell you how I go about things.
Yeah.
And what our plan is for the coming season. We're trying to get Tristin turkey this year.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Now we're also looking at getting into duck hunting, and I'm gonna get back into small game this year. Tanner and Matt, Hunter and Matt both do trapping as well, so I'm gonna get on with them and see if we can't get some raccoons. We're gonna do coyote hunts. In Missouri, if you guys were unaware, it was just legalized that you can do nocturnal hunting for coyotes and feral hogs. So that means that they legalized thermal scopes, night vision scopes, and having mounted lights. So the three of us are going to get into that a little bit. Tanner might join us, might not. We'll just kind of play by ear. But on that note, I also got access to probably 200 or 300 acres of land, so we'll be doing a walkthrough of that here pretty soon.
Excited about that one.
It's over in Thompson, Missouri. It's in between Centralia here and Mexico, Audrain County. But yeah, all that's in the workings, and we'll just keep rolling. So with that, I guess we're gonna go ahead and sign off.
Yep.
Y'all have a good time and happy hunting.
Yep.